Welcome to Huddle for Success, real talk, real goals, and real results, where they help you make it happen in your life and business. Your hosts are Mark Bruce and Duane Gibbs, and they're here to help you level up your mindset, growth, and your success. Whether you're after personal growth or financial growth, they have you covered. Now let's huddle up.
Welcome to Huddle for Success, real talk, real goals, real results. I'm your host, Duane Gibbs, always alongside of me, the Hall of Famer, my partner, Mark Bruce.
Good to see you this morning, Duane. How you doing?
I'm good. Doesn't get old for me. I'm sure it must get old for you and your buddies. And I hope that you're hearing a lot of flack from it.
I don't think I blush as much as I did the first time anymore. So yeah,
that's good. Getting used to it.
All good.
I'll have to think of something else.
Ooh, be careful.
So each and every Monday, we come to you with an episode that runs anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes. And if you don't know, we also have a huddle up session that we do every Wednesday and Friday that runs anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. And so with that being said, let's get started. What do you have on the docket for today?
We've got something. I think we're going to have a blast. I hope everybody else enjoys it too. We get questions from time to time from people that we know and people that inquire about what we do. So we thought we'd do a little interview style where I'll interview Duane this week, and next week he'll put me in the hot seat, and we'll see if we can answer some of your questions. How's that sound?
I like it.
All right. So first question we're going to start with is, we know you've talked about why we formed Huddle for Success in the past. Mm-hmm. How does your experience help me as a client going forward?
That's a good question. I think the best answer that I can give, and I'll try and keep it short, I always envisioned, I wish I had a coach when I started off. I kind of did, but I felt like I had to go down the road and figure some things out until I initially got a book that talked about how to buy real estate with using credit cards, which I don't recommend doing now. But I really didn't know what to do. I was in a place in life, young, knowing, seeing my dad being let go from working with Coca-Cola Company after so many years, and realizing I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I didn't want to be a guy that had to punch a clock for the next 30 years. And so with that being said, my experience over the years of, as you know, being in the training business, I listened to a lot of people over the years, and grateful. I've been able to take a little bit from this person, from that person, and I've listened to a lot of people, and I've had some good coaches. I've had some coaches that weren't so great, but I believe that the biggest thing that I have going is, with traveling for 30 years, 45 weekends out of the year, all this time, I've gained a lot of experience. And I always say, and I know some of you listeners are going to say, oh, you always say that, but it's true. I could tell you a million different ways of how not to do something. I may not know everything about everything, but I can tell you a million different ways of how not to do something. And that's experience. Sometimes I have heard in the past that, why is your program so superior? And I would say it isn't superior above anybody else's. It's our program that has to resonate with you. There has to be something you as a listener feels like you get from what we bring to the table, what we talk about, our demeanor, our humor, whatever that is. And so not everybody resonates with Tony Robbins. Not everybody resonates with Dean Graziosi. Not everybody resonates with Kent Clothier. So there are a lot of great coaches out there that train in a style that suits them. Our style, what I prefer and what I have done for my career, is sitting across the table one on one and finding out what's your pain point. And I've done that thousands, 10,000 times over and over and over and over. So I've heard all the reasons of, well, I know that this person tried it and well, it's not going to work for me. Well, you can't judge your success on what someone else has done. And so another question has come up with, or the pushback of, well, is this really going to work? So there's been so many questions that I have heard over the years. Um, a lot of you put yourself in a failure position before you even start. And so with us knowing, me hearing this for years and years and years and years, there's not a question that I've never heard of somebody asking and saying, hey, what can you help me with? How is this going to benefit me? I know that we can overcome your objections. And I think the reason of overall is just our experience in different areas. My experience is different than Mark's, and his is different than mine. And I think that's what makes us so good, is because 7 years combined of so many different things that we've experienced that we have collaborated on, compiled, and now can share with you as a client.
That's a fantastic answer. What you said is that we help people overcome their objection to getting started, and that reminded me, that's the terror barrier. People's
Mhm.
objections are just they don't know, and they're somewhat fearful. Can I make this work? And that's what you and I are here for. Like you said, I mean, we're here to help everybody. That's fantastic.
And listen, you're not going to be able to help every single person. But as I mentioned earlier, there's going to be something that resonates with somebody that says, these guys can help me. They're relatable. They understand. And I've talked, you and I both have talked before. We're raw. There's no AI there. You're working directly with us. So it's not like we're putting you with someone that doesn't have the experience. You're working directly with the owners of the company. So it is a scalable business. We work with you one on one, and then it goes into a group setting. But everybody needs that one on one, so we can define and funnel in what your why is, what your pain point is, what obstacles you're trying to overcome, and how all that can work. And then, it's kind of like a roadmap or a GPS. Everybody wants you to get to the same place, but some people have to walk, some people are running, some people are driving, some people,
Taking a plane.
want taking a plane. So that, hey, thank you. So it really just depends on, where you need to get to, but we can get every single person to their destination. I just have to hear your story. And until we hear someone's story, then, obviously we can't get them there. But I know with 1,000% integrity, I can get everybody to their end goal of what that is. Whatever that is, I know I can get you there.
Next question. Oh, this is a doozy. So what kind of a commitment do I need to make to work with you guys?
You have to have an open mind.
Oh, mic drop. That's the answer. Oh, you nailed it on that one. Okay, we'll move on. No, wait. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I
Finish your answer.
think that the next important thing is uh, be ready to face your fears, because you're going to have fears of, hey, can I do this? So and so tried it and it didn't work for them, or they really succeed. You cannot measure your success, your goals, your end game, your result, whatever you want to call it, from success what somebody else has done. You can't do it. Everybody is different. And so you have to be ready to face your fears. You're going to have to be able to face challenges, and there's going to be crazy things that we're going to ask you to do, repetitive things that we ask you to do. That, Mark, uh, initially I thought it was nuts myself when I went through it. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. And then this is what I was faced with. I was faced with I was a guy that had 30 years of being in a business that I loved. I love helping people. I have helped nonprofit organizations. I love having house guests over because I love to cook. And those of you that know me personally, I love to cook and I love to entertain and help people. And the business that I was in for 30 years, I was in the people business. I was in the people helping business, and I absolutely love it. Um, and I just know that if you don't face your fear like I did initially, trying to reinvent myself, I had a whole bunch of knowledge, but I couldn't put it down until you brought to me, thinking in the results. Initially I was a mess, not a mess of knowledge, a mess of what's my next step. I was stuck. I just I didn't really have a definable plan that made sense to me to where I felt like I could be successful. And we all have been there. We all have been stuck at some point. But I had to face that fear. I had to face those challenges. I had to face the understanding of writing down my goals. I've never done that before. Journaling, I've never done that before. And so this has really elevated my energy. It has elevated my mindset. It has elevated my passion. And so if I can take all what I've done for 30 years that I truly love and now plugged into a system to where I can't get enough of it, you're going to be to the moon. Because if I can give you a shot in the arm of everything that I know, everything that I have, everything that I've learned, everything that I can educate you on, there's no way that you can't make it.
Yeah, this, when you said an open mind, it just reminded me that, all right, what we teach is based on the principles that Bob Proctor learned from Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill was broke when he interviewed Andrew Carnegie, the richest man in the world, and agreed to do what Andrew asked him to do, which was interview 500 of the most successful people in the world
Mm-hmm.
and spend 20 years doing it. You probably won't make any money for 20 years. Are you willing to do that and then write a manual for how people can become successful? And Andrew Carnegie said yes. And I'm sorry, Napoleon Hill said yes. And Andrew Carnegie said, here's the first thing you need to do. Every morning you need to get up in the morning and you need to say into the mirror, Andrew Carnegie, I'm going to exceed everything you've ever done. I'm going to pass you at the post, and I'm going to equal you at the post, and I'm screwing this up, but basically, it was saying that Napoleon Hill was going to say he was going to beat Andrew Carnegie and create more millionaires than Andrew Carnegie had ever done, and Napoleon Hill said, "There's no way."
Right.
And Carnegie said, "You're absolutely right, Napoleon. As long as you believe there's no way, you'll never do it.
That's right.
You have to believe. You have to have an open mind that believe that it can happen."
Yeah, you have to have faith and you have to believe because at the end of the day, if you can't see yourself doing, succeeding and achieving what you want at the end of the day, it'll never happen. Nothing's easy. Nothing is easy at all. If it was easy, then everybody do it. Everybody would be successful. What you have to have is a willingness to be in a different position than where you're at right now. And if you have that willing to just know things are going to be tough, but my question that I would have posed to every one of you is, what does it look like if you don't do something? How is that going to affect you? How is it going to affect what your day to day look like? What's 20 years look like? Not a year from now. Well, if I don't do it, I don't do it. I'll do it next year. Well, that's just procrastination. Just think those of you that said, "Hey, New Year's resolution is I'm going to lose weight," and you stop on the 18th of January. Well, if you would have continued until the 30th, how many pounds would you have lost? And so you just have to stick with it. And if you have an open mind, the willingness to learn, the willingness to change your life, the willingness to have great things to happen to your life, but there needs to be a change. What has to be a change within, and you can do it. Okay, next question, bud.
Next question. So I've seen you guys on social media. I think I want to find out more about the program. What would be my next steps?
Okay, so next step would be go to huddleforsuccess.com. You're going to schedule an appointment, and when you do that, there are 5 questions that you're going to fill out. You're going to submit it, and then my calendar would come up, mine or Mark's, and then you would then select a time that's going to be best for you. You're going to submit it. We'll have our meeting. It's by phone initially. And then if you say, "Hey, you know what? I'm ready to move on from there. I'm very interested and I'm looking to move further with having you all be my mentor and be a part of your program. What's that look like from there?" So then what I'll do is I will email you a questionnaire, and that's an interview process. That is really going down the road and figure out your pain points, your goals, what you're trying to accomplish, really what you want out of our program. And then I'm also going to send you a scorecard, and it's a scorecard on life events that pertain to everybody: spirituality, vacation, knowledge on where you think that you're at right now in your life, and just different questions that you're just going to circle the number and figure out, what aligns best with you. And then from that point, I'm going to have you go ahead and schedule another call, but that is going to be a Zoom call. So we're going to spend about 45 minutes to an hour really going through your questionnaires. We're going to look at your scorecard, and then from that point, once you decide that, hey, I want to be a part of the program, you would pay however we accept payment. What's that? Um, Credit card, Venmo, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
And that's the operational side, Marky. That's you. And so from that point,
Yeah.
then it starts. Then your journey starts. And that is now a collaboration call with, okay, now you're in. Let us go through and start getting you acclimated with thinking into results. And that right there is the eye opener. Listen, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I've listened to any kind of motivational speaker, any kind of self-help. This program, I'm going to tell you, in 30 years has been the first thing that has sat me up in the edge of my seat wanting more. And so, if you've never been through it, you may not understand it, but I'm here to tell you it's the best. It's the best. And so, from that point, we start that journey. It is a 12-month training program that the thinking into results is 6 months. However, we just can't let you go. You're going to stay connected with us. We're going to work with you. You're going to be in our advanced master group, to where people that are through the program are going to be going. You're going to be working with those folks, and so it's just layer building on and on and on for a year. And then after the year, then if you decide that you want to continue on with us, well, we're able to work with you as well. So there is a small commitment after the first year. However, let's worry about seeing if it's a fit for you, for us, and let's collaborate together and see if we can make it a fit. Okay, another question.
I think I'm going to jump the head of the line here.
What do you mean?
I'm going to ask you a question because these are all good questions. But
Ugh,
and you and I have known each other for a really long time.
yes.
I think what really might help people is if they,
Don't throw me under the bus
I'm
here.
not going to throw you under the bus, but I think a lot of people need to know a little bit about your background and why it is you have such a burning desire to help people.
Mm, you threw me under the bus.
No, I didn't. You got I mean, just tell them.
So I think it's, Bob says everybody is born rich. And when I heard him make that statement, and then he also made another statement about the cell phone has always been around, was just never thought of, or the internet's always been around, was just never thought of in time. And so I always had a vision of being better and doing better. And I say that because at a young age, aunts, uncles, cousins, they just made me feel like I would never amount to anything. And that hurt. I lived with that for years, long time, long time. From school to always not fitting in to um, I think living on my own at a young age. I don't fault my mom and dad, but they, when my dad lost his job and then they moved to Florida, I stayed in Maryland and wanted to graduate high school. That meant something to me. I never cut high school. We talked about this before. Cut it one time. I cut it. I cut class one time, and we all, me and three buddies, we drove down to Ocean City. And when we got down there, uh, I think we went to Boardwalk Fries and we ate some French fries and we had a Coke and we got a candy bar or something. And we didn't have any money to get back home. And so I thought, what can I do? As you know, I have a passion for helping people, and I've felt we got to get back home. And so I walked up and down the boardwalk asking people for change so we could get back home for gas because we were pretty much we weren't going to make it far. And so with that being said, I think I went through life not feeling good enough, or I just felt like bad relationships, bad marriage, um, and a lot of therapy. Always felt like it was, something that I did, and or I blamed everybody else. Well, this marriage didn't work, or people take advantage of me, and I realized it wasn't everybody else. It was me. It was the choices that I made. I went down the wrong road with alcohol and drugs. I went down a road of feeling sorry for myself. And until I really realized that I had so much to give and so much to offer, and my heart was all about helping people, I believe that was my calling. And so that's why I said before, I loved the business that I was in for 30 years and so grateful that I was introduced to it. And um, I guess that's why I'm so passionate about our business. I am so beyond grateful for you introducing me to this business and saying, you got to take a look at it. I think you were concerned of where I was at, knowing that I was so curious and eager to build this type of business. I think you felt compelled to share it with me, and I'm so grateful that you did. And so my mindset has changed, and now I have no one to blame uh, at all because now I'm creating my own path. And so for all those that felt like I couldn't make it, I had something to prove. I had something to prove not only to them because it was an aha moment. I wanted to say, hey, look at me. I made it. I did well. I traveled all around the world, and family members haven't done that. Friends from time to time say, man, in school you were not a good student in school. What happened? And I just felt like I had something to prove. I wanted better. I wanted better for me. I wanted better for my family. I wanted better for my closest friends. And I just felt like, at the end of the day, it it really wasn't about anybody else. It was about myself. And how could I make things better for me? Even though I put all the excuses off onto everybody else and blamed others and all, it wasn't about nobody else. It was about me. And so I think that those that are listening, at the end of the day, don't let anybody tell you that you can't make it or that you're not good enough or that you'll never get that success. As you know, I'm a little league nut. I love watching, little league baseball when it was on, what, 2 weeks ago, a week ago. A lot of the major league ball players, as Sunday night comes about, Sunday night baseball, that was the Seattle Mariners and the New York Mets. And, they were interviewing these guys and said, hey, why, wh- what would you be doing looking back? Why did you do what you did? And why are you in major league? Because I had a dream. I see these kids, and that was me 12, 15 years ago. And so now, always wanting to do better. And, hopefully I didn't ramble on, but to those people that are looking for a change and feeling like you're capable of doing more, I will tell you from someone that felt like they weren't, uh, you are, and you'll make it because I made it.
Yeah, I'm so glad everybody got to hear that because I will tell you when we first started talking, I told you you need to be a coach. You need to start a coaching business because you have so much that you offer people. And I am so grateful that you decided and we decided to partner together because I think while we are both good coaches, when we're together, it magnifies how we can help people.
No question, no question. So, hopefully you that are listening, you go to the website huddleforsuccess.com and decide that you want to fill out and schedule a call with me. I would love to hear your story. I would love to hear your why. I would love to hear your goals and what you want out of life because I will tell you, uh, I truly believe that I can help you. If anything, at least I can listen to you and give you some directions of where to go. If Mark and I can't help you through Huddle for Success, I will give you an alternative of saying, hey, try here, try this. Maybe that's a better fit for you. So, like I always say, Mark says, we're just real guys in the business, combined of 70 years experience. And again, don't know everything about everything, but we can tell you a million different ways of how not to do something. So I so look forward to speaking to each and every one of you that have interest in creating a better life for yourself and a different outcome versus where you're seeing yourself going now. So moving forward, Mark, next week you will be in the hot seat, and I'm going to have a question that you don't know about, and I'm going to pose that. So I appreciate everybody's time, and I like today's session.
Yeah, I hope that I can answer as well as you did because you know, you're straight from the heart. I
Thank
loved
you.
it.
Thank you. Well, listen, thank you for joining this episode of Huddle for Success. Real talk, real result, real goals, real results. Cut that. So listen, next week you're in the hot seat, and I'm going to come up with a question that you don't know about at the end. So
I I
you throw me under the bus.
I
It's
did.
fine. Hopefully it helped, but
I'll put my armor
um,
on.
hmm?
I'll put my armor on to get ready to get under the bus.
Yeah,
No,
good.
I know for a fact that your answer to that question is going to help lots of people.
Hopefully so. So listen, thank you for tuning in to this week Huddle for Success. Real talk, real goals, real results. We come to you every single Monday. Again, follow us on social media, like, share, comment. Love to hear your comments as always. And follow us on Wednesdays and Fridays where we have our Huddle Up session. So um, can't wait to talk to you. Love to get some feedback. Till next week, stay huddled up.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Huddle for Success. If you found it helpful and want to support others on their journey, share this podcast, leave us a rating, and drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll see you next week on Huddle for Success. Stay huddled up.